What's the sexiest moment you've seen by accident? I was walking home drunk at circa 2 AM and walked past some people doing it doggy style on their knees behind a tree. We were no more than 10 feet from each other. Our eyes met. They stopped like deer in headlights. Then in my drunken stupor I say, "Party on, throw up some devil horns and walk away." That was the appropriate response. Good on you. Obligatory edit. Now my top comment is about how not to disturb people randomly having sex in public. I guess it's better than a comment about butt play. Parking my truck at a motel. The room window in front of me had their blinds open about 2 feet. Inside was a man in a suit, a woman in a very sexy black dress, and a second woman naked except for a garter belt and nylons. Shit was about to get real in there. The motel tells me this was most likely a guy spending his week's paycheck on some hookers. Not that there is anything wrong with that. In my mind the two dressed people were married swingers. The naked chick was the girl they brought back from the swingers party. Or a potential secret agent standoff. The girl in the garter belt had seduced the besuited gentleman. Or vice versa. The woman in the black dress was a rival agent who had tracked them down. I was 13. Selling newspaper subscriptions door to door around 7 PM one night. Hit an apartment complex for that easy money. Knocked on a door and before the third knock, the door flew open and a very attractive brunette in black lacy lingerie and thigh highs came into my life. Well, hello the oh shit, and slammed the door in my face. Obviously was expecting someone else. My balls dropped that night. I had a similar one. I was delivering post as a temp job one summer before uni and I knocked on the door to this flat and a woman answered the door. Perfect 10, wearing what was basically a flannel, just jumped out of the shower. She says, "Oh, sorry. I thought you were my sister." I reply, "No problem. I have a package for you." Sadly I was not invited in here. Life has a funny way of not being a Pino. That's a great quote. Flying home for Christmas on leave from Navy Hospital in 1973. Still very weak, so I was first passenger on plane. Stewardess has placed extra pillows and blankets on seat across from me. She leans over to get the last one. She was wearing a garter and stockings and nothing else under her skirt. Would have been even more exciting except all I could do was imagine. I am 6-2 inches tall and weighed about 95 pounds at the time. I had lost so much weight due my illness. So all I could do was think about sex. But even if she had been willing, nothing I could have done. Oh, funniest sexy story also happened at airport. Tall sexy blonde wearing a skin-tight red dress barely cover her rear. Tight enough you can tell, no bra and only a thong. She's walking and I'm bored, so I slow down to keep from passing her up as we're walking in same direction. As I get to my gate I notice a elderly Asian couple sitting on seats facing us as we walk towards them. I've been staring at this lady's ass hoping the skirt rides up a little higher. So instead I'm watching to see if the old man has a reaction. She walks and then turns to head to the check-in counter right in front of the couple. Old Asian man doesn't move anything but his eyes. You can see him strain to watch without moving his head. I thought that was hilarious, but I was wrong. As soon as the lady in the red dress walks past them, the old lady also without moving anything else moves arm next to the old man and slams her elbow into the side of the old man. He just grunts, but gets a little smile on his face. It was all I could do to not stop and laugh out loud. They had been married long enough the old woman knew he had looked and he figured it was still worth a jab in the side. That's actually pretty damn cute smiley face. Yeah, I got a laugh from thinking about how she knew he was looking even if she didn't see him look, and how he smiled both at getting the look and knowing she still got jealous. Funniest part to me was in how the expressions, with exception of his small smile, never changed on their faces. Kept looking straight ahead the whole time. My preteen self was in line for the diving board at the local pool when the girl who just jumped in ran back into line, with her right boob popping out of her bikini. After staring for a good 5 seconds she finally noticed and giggled as she put it back, which gave me the opportunity to learn just how weird it is to jump into a pool and swim with a woody. Did you use it as a rudder to impress her? Shark fin. Catch a breeze with your trunks and you've got a mast. Was out fly fishing in the middle of nowhere in Slovenia. I saw two people off in the distance further down the river. They appeared to be naked. As I got closer I saw a female sitting on a stool with her legs open. A man was on his knees in the water and he was shaving her pussy with a razor that he was rinsing off in the river. I'll never forget this. For real? Or is this some movie plot and I never saw the movie? Shaving Private Dryer. You mean you haven't seen the classic Shaving Mania, Publius and Slovenia movie? Friend's stepmom had recently married his dad. She was from Florida. We were moving stuff to her grandparents' house. It was the middle of summer. She was sweating, and it was great for 15-year-old me. Then she rolled her shirt up to show some glorious underboob. It would have lasted much longer if she didn't see me gawking, but it's an image forever burned into my mind. And then, he died. From fapping too much. Was walking down the street in Center City, Philly during the day when I had the sudden urge to look up at one of the apartment buildings. There, on about the 4th floor, I saw a couple butt-ass naked, going at it doggy style against the window. She was making her O face and open up her eye during the peek and locked immediately with mine. I quickly looked at the pavement and just kept on walking. They wouldn't have been doing that if they didn't like chancing somebody seeing them. Next time, give them a thumbs up. Mostly true. Though one time I was getting head in my kitchen and I didn't realize we had an audience until a bunch of people on the sidewalk 3 stories below started cheering. Luckily my girlfriend at the time was a good sport and thought it was funny. Insert glass house joke here. Back in high school I was taking my dog for an evening walk around my neighborhood. She's doing her business and starts barking up at someone's house. So of course I look to see what made her bark and lo and behold there's a girl from my class, topless and just out of the shower looking out her window. I don't think she saw me, but I made sure to feed my dog extra treats when we got back. Damn, I miss that mutt. The bro was strong with that dog. My freshman orientation of college, we are all going outside for another damn tour. I'm sitting up against a wall when this absolutely stunning girl in a dress walks out of the commons door and a gust of wind hits her, lifts the dress up, and reveals she is not wearing underwear. Started that tour with a boner. Did you see her from the front or back? When I was younger I looked out of my window and saw my neighbor fapping in his bathroom. He went on for about 10 minutes and they were some of the best 10 minutes of my 16-year-old life. You would have loved chat roulette. I know. I really missed out as a teenager. There's still time. Just think about all of the lonely old men, lonely fat men, lonely young men, and lonely skinny men there are out there, in the dark, with their dongs out for you. Plus, the dong is so prevalent at that site that you can browse through, as if you're shopping, until you find one that suits your interests. One year in my mid-20s, I lived next door to a family in Cambridge, MA. Their daughter came home from college that spring. My bedroom window faced hers. She used wooden blinds that were more or less completely transparent. Each night, before bed, she would just stand naked in front of her mirror, or sometimes she'd sit on the edge of her bed and face the mirror. That summer she studied her own body closely, and I guess I got to know it pretty well, too. Tell me more about this transparent wood. They grow everywhere on the East Coast. You just probably haven't seen them. I believe I used to fly into them all the time in San Andreas. I watched a gained water buffalo get a blowjob. Took me more than a few seconds to comprehend what I was seeing. During that time the buffalo snorted with pleasure and I walked away. When I was 19 I worked as a delivery driver for KFC. They used to deliver back then. I was walking back from a delivery and one of the female employees was in an empty lobby scrubbing a spill on the floor on her hands and knees. Her butt was facing me. As she scrubbed her butt wiggled. I married her. Tell me more. When did KFC stop delivering? I live in San Diego. They delivered just a few years in my area. Like 1998 to 2004. As a delivery driver I made lots on tips, but my god it was a mess. With a pizza you got usually 1-3 things to take and check. Pizza, soda, wings. At KFC you had to make sure a lot of other stuff was in there. Drivers were supposed to check, but most of the time you were walking in, and an assistant manager is handing you 2 more and telling you to go. Policy was to take no more than 2 so the food would be hot on arrival. Unlike my local Domino's. They told me the other day that the reason my pizza was cold was it was 4th delivery for the driver. Sorry. Side rant. The manager gave me coupons for free pizzas. Those showed up cold too. Coupons aren't that great hot. When a cute nurse accidentally drops something, picks it up, and bam. Thung. But the ratio of non-cute nurses to cute nurses is at least 20:1. Well, that's why you accidentally drop something in front of a cute nurse for her to be nice and pick up. You play with the better odds that way. Nice try, the Todd. Accidentally saw myself in the gym body mirror while working out. Accidentally. Yes, you were an accident. You don't have to tell me twice. Why don't you love me, mom? I was at a free concert in Central Park. The public toilets were disgusting, so women were using a wooded area nearby. Watching discreetly from a park bench, a grizzled homeless man feverishly fapped. Public toilet broke. Do women shit in the woods? A homeless man hopes. If a woman shits in the woods and a homeless man isn't around to fap to it, did she really shit? My wife had recently lost a good bit of weight and was feeling rather proud of herself. I caught her standing naked in the bathroom checking out her ass in the mirror. Self-confidence, people. Ultimate aphrodisiac for men and women. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Is my ass the best of all?